table full of melanites. Crystal body gon' shine, I don't need the eyes. It's real tough. Yeah. Speaking on the times, cause my people need to see. Third eye blind, know they lying through their teeth. They tryna loop the time, tryna keep us in a sleep. But you know we gotta rise like the steam in the heat. Quantum physics to a beat, how time zones lead. It matter just the data that your brain gon' see. Alchemy, your master, all that photon light. Avatar, the body, just the temple, do you see? The deities surround me, I feel the peace. Breathe deep, I push chi like Bruce Lee. Yo, it's Dragon Ball Z, I'm Super Saiyan 3. And we finna walk them down, any town, any street. New world on horizon, I can see the silver lining. Cause the sun gon' shine, then we all keep shining. Mighty lion can heal the pain, you know his name. But they staying on the same old thing. They playing, well let's talk about it. Round table full of melanites. Crystal body gon' shine, I don't need the ice. Deity, being me, you gon' see us rise. My people so divine, know it's our time. Let's talk about it.
Let's have the conversation.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Let's have the conversation.
I don't wanna hear that he say, that she say. You listening to parasites on replay. They tap into my phone to listen like we on three-way. It's tap into your aura, feel the energy like heat waves. Let's talk about it. Who you praying to? When you start to lose your mind, who is saving you? If you're moving through the time, what's the energy that's moving you? I wanna have the conversation. We always dropping gems back and forth, like great debating. We making our own way, our own land, our own pavement. Just suiting up the spaceship. I like to wake up with the sun. Say my daily mantra, speaking crypto, speaking tongues. Tell them what I'm after with, the one and get it done. I feel my enemies around me. 7 deadly sins, they tryna trap and keep me bounded. I'm not staying around, I get my people, then I'm outie. Yeah.
Round table full of melanites. Crystal body gon' shine, I don't need the ice. Deity, being me, you gon'
Greetings, everyone.
Greetings.
Greetings. Oh, was Quatita frozen? Because I was like, why is it? You were frozen
I think
on
she
my
was
end.
for a hot second.
Why is Quatita staring at us like that? What do we do?
Tim, the music playing again. What is happening?
Girl, she was
I think
frozen.
Mercury
Oh
retrograde is
my
around the
God.
corner.
It is
It's
around the
every
corner.
time. It's every time they add new things, I feel like, to YouTube. Also, because I've been in here pressing these little emojis that are on the chat now. Like,
Wait,
greetings,
what?
committee. Let
Are
me put some
those?
hundreds. Let me put some celebration.
Oh my goodness.
Did you
Oh,
see
they
it?
got the heart emoji. Oh, okay.
Oh
Leave
wow.
my phone off. Oh, I'm
Wait.
Okay.
Hold on.
We got some emojis. Don't know where
I
carbon
like you
is,
too.
missing carbon. But that's the way that the day has gone. Can y'all hear me?
Yes, we can.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So
It's a
greetings
lot
and Grand
happening.
Rising Committee. Welcome to Let's Have the Conversation. Are you ready to get into it? Because I know the panel is. Come on, cousins. Let's start talking about what it is that we're going to talk about. I cannot be Carbon even if I tried. He does this so gracefully. So how you doing, panel? How you doing?
Wake up. I'm good. I'm having a great day. I am.
Did I do good, Quarteter?
You did.
You hit
Wait,
the ground
Harry,
running
what
with it. I love it.
Hold on.
Quarteter didn't say I did good. She just did like this. That means I didn't do good.
Listen, from what I saw in her, did fine. I'm frozen again. I don't know.
Always out. Her stressed out.
There you go. You're good now. You're good.
This happens. I don't know. I don't know what the fuck I'm paying like for. But we're oh my God, I'm frozen. Just let me know when I'm right.
It's your turn, Aubrey.
All right. Well, guys, we have some things going on with Shanquilla. Honey, I don't know if you saw the story on This Rising, where it was reported that the U.S. government, honey, they are not pursuing any charges against these individuals that have unalived this girl, supposedly, allegedly, and maybe. Yes. So we want to figure out exactly what is going on in this particular situation. Panel, I think this is going to be like a panel discussion with us. So what y'all think about this? Did y'all see the story earlier about that? You haven't seen it? I posted in the WhatsApp. What are y'all thoughts about that? Because I honestly think like all of the evidence was in the video, but it could be something a little bit more deeper, because when I was talking to Quatita earlier, she kind of made me think about something a little bit more deeper. So I would like everybody to talk
Not the whisper. So I'm waiting to see what's going to happen, because I'm wondering if the U.S. I'm wondering how it affects extradition. Like if it's not necessary for the U.S. to press charges because they plan on shipping them out anyway, since the crime happened there. Or is it, if it's a situation where they have to press charges here for them to be extradited, then I'm very upset. And it makes no sense whatsoever. There is no lack of evidence. Everything, like you said, is in that video. But I'm waiting to see the process or to hear more about it, because I was thinking maybe they aren't pressing charges because they're going to let Mexico handle it.
I don't know. I feel if, like Aubrey was saying, there was evidence, there's so much there, plus so many interviews that were there and held there, to where we should be able to go forth and have these people in their respective places, which is behind bars or prosecuted or whatever. You should see that, because the evidence is there. You know, you have a crime on camera, you have it all captured. But that's personally what I think. Charming, I see you up there. You go ahead and go.
So I just like pulled up a quick article, and it says basically the feds, it says that they did a detailed and thorough investigation of the evidence and worked with the Robinson family to conduct an autopsy in the U.S. by the medical examiner's office in North Carolina. They met with the Robinson family, blah, blah, blah. The FBI interviewed Shanquella and travel mates and people in the house. Sorry, guys, I'm trying to get to the point. The U.S. officials told the family that the autopsy, which was completed after Shanquella Robinson's body had been embalmed and transported back to the U.S., revealed no spinal cord injury, but did show swelling on her brain, although the cause of death is still to be undetermined, the attorneys said. And that is important because previously it said that the on the death certificate obtained by CNN, they listed the cause of death as severe spinal cord injury and atlas luxation, which is instability in the upper neck vertebrae. So after she had been embalmed, they say they couldn't find any evidence of spinal cord injury.
But she was playing like a noodle.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you can. Okay. So it doesn't make any sense to me, because one, you see the video, and then the multiple conversations that happened where they said, oh, after she was slammed, she didn't get up again, she didn't move. That means there's something was severed. That means that something had taken place that stopped her from getting up. Now, when I was channeling earlier, Spirit said, watch how many interviews are done after this. I want to know what kind of interviews. Is it going to be a lot, or is it going to be absolutely none? Spirit just keeps saying, watch the interviews, watch how many interviews. Now, This is my thing. I need to see pictures of this girl in the casket. That's the only thing that makes sense. Because I can communicate with somebody. Like, I was not drawn to talk about this at all. Like, not to do a walk with crime on it. Nothing, But I did a quick live on what I know took place, right? But if there's no charges being pressed on the death, is it because she's being held somewhere, still alive in a coma, out of her body? Like, I'm just trying to figure it out. Where I need to see that for me to believe what is happening is happening.
Yeah,
Is it you're
especially
not getting anything
because
from her? My question is, you don't get anything from her?
I was gonna say, especially
Like, when I
because they
did the
tell us that her
live,
body
like,
was altered in between the travel. Her body was altered in between the travels, which means there's a possibility something was different in between that time.
when people are in a coma or outside of their mental state, I can pick up with them. Somebody has dementia or Alzheimer's, I can pick up them and speak with them as if they're crossed over, and they're not. I do it a lot. And so I wasn't drawn to do this case on a, I just never felt like I needed to do it. And I really feel like it is a lot to this that we're not seeing. Like, again, like I told, I don't know if it was Malika or Aubrey, but her mom put outfit on, her blue, they on the checkerboard floor. Like, it's a lot to this shit. Why ain't nobody upset? If you kill my daughter over in Cabo, I'm getting ready to do something. Y'all sitting down with people having dinners and all this shit, and then they telling you whatever the fuck they want to tell you, and you, there's my baby, oh, she was daddy's baby. I don't believe her parents. I don't believe shit her father has said. And I was mum about that before, but I do not believe anything these people say. Let me just say that and be quiet.
Wow.
So I didn't even think about how the casket wasn't even open during the funeral, honey. And they put her in the ground so quick. All we saw was a graffiti pink casket. From what I remember, I don't see the casket being opened. And she didn't have any like major damage to her body to where she would not be viewed. You know what I'm saying? So I've been to a lot of funerals now. And they gonna make sure that you sees them in that casket, honey, with the hands like this. Okay, over the stomach or over the chest. We did not see Shanquella in that casket. I don't remember.
I agree because it makes you think.
I don't.
It makes you think about all the people that went missing. It's easy to put another body in there, and then she's still where she's at, and we still have this case going on and ongoing because there was so many people missing in Mexico. You could just put a dismembered looking, disheveled Melanite body there and keep a closed casket, and you still have your story, sealed as kept. There's so many things. I get what you're saying. There are so many things you can see how this is twisted and convoluted, and how we're seeing it one way, and this is more multifaceted than what we're actually putting our eyes and ears into keeping up on looking at, because there's so many people going missing down there. How do we know we're not seeing and missing something within that?
Absolutely.
So do you think that her body being hosted or something like that? Do y'all think that's what's going on? It's being hosted, or
if that was the case, I could still pick her up as if she was gone. You understand what I'm saying? Like, her consciousness is being like moved or is moved or something. But I don't feel like I needed to do this on a walk with crime. I don't believe what they're saying. Now, for sure, we saw the video of the girl getting beat up. Well, high five, goddammit. We saw a video of a girl getting slung around, butt naked. That was not a close-up. We did not see her face.
Which was allegedly.
We saw a video.
You talking.
You know, you're not lying. You're not lying. Not one, there was not one video of a close up. You're not lying. Sure wasn't.
Nope. They
Mm.
said, Quella, at least fight back. And she
Mm-hmm.
said no. And then that's the end of the damn video.
Right. You're right. There's a lot that don't add up.
That's from that trip. How do you know that's from that? They go to Cabo every year.
See, I didn't know that.
I don't trust none of that.
I didn't know they went every year. So this is oh wow, I did not know that. Wow.
Yeah, no, they've been going every year or whatever. They show pictures of them going from the year before.
I had
We're
no
missing
clue.
something, and they're not gonna. My grandmother used to say, "You can't pour a pee in my face and make me think it's rain." So,
Okay, you can't feed me rabbit shit and call it Cocoa Puffs. Goddamn it! I'm just saying. Man.
period.
I'm just saying, y'all.
Yeah, no, they're known for going to Cabo.
That's crazy. That is absolutely insane. Yeah, when I saw that they wasn't pressing charges, I was like, okay. Yeah, all right. I see how they do us. But like you said, it's not what it seems to be. I believe you. Absolutely. And in time it'll unfold itself, most likely. It'll unfold.
Well, we're definitely going to take a look at it and see what's happening with it, because for them not to be pressing, like you're not pressing any charges. A young woman was allegedly unalived on video. It surfaced 2 different videos. You know what I'm saying? The second one they barely showed. I never watched the second one, but people said they seen the second one where she got slammed and didn't get back up. Something, okay? I didn't watch the shit, but I'm just trying to understand and figure it out. How is it?
It's
I feel
disgusting.
manipulated. Believe
They play like they all like it's a show or something like that. Like they just, filmed it and acted all out and then presented it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a movie. Like we just all getting played out here.
Always Chaz. Why would I call you Chad?
I thought it was just messing up.
Not Chad.
Okay.
That's too funny. All right, y'all. So, what's our next story? Whose story is this?
It is mine.
Oh, it's
they're
gonna be
growling
good.
in the background. Please just ignore them. Okay, so Egypt. Some of you all may have seen this up and down your timeline. And Quatita actually brought it to our group today, and I had been looking it up all night last night. So I was really excited that this was going to be one of the topics tonight, because I have so many feelings in regards to this situation. So Ty Adam Washington II, who goes by the stage name Egyptian, forced entry into his mother's home last Tuesday, which was, well, not last Tuesday, it was on March 28th. Sorry, I'm reading somebody else's stuff. And I can't even quote where it's coming from because I don't remember. I looked at so many. Anyway, once inside, he shot his mother, Taisha Hall, his 21-year-old sister, and his 12-year-old brother before fleeing the scene. Now, in his last request, when he posted, and he had been posting for a few days before he did this, there were posts that I saw on his page where, and we have a video that we'll play for you too, but there were posts that that I saw on his page where he had videos of him and his child. And he said, if you love me, love my child when I'm gone, here's, my baby mama's Cash App. And people were like, please don't do it. Please don't do it. We hear you. You saw people in the comments wondering, like, should we call the local authorities in his area? What should we do? And it was after this that he ended up running up in his mama's house. Now, I have not been able to confirm it, but I heard that she had just recently kicked him out. And so there was some turmoil there. And in the clip that we're going to play, it's a few minutes, but I just really want you all, a lot of people are judging him, right? And maybe before we play the video, Quatita, we should ask the panel's opinion first. So, panel, there's a lot of people that are judging him and are saying like, you know, they did with the young girl who just shot up the school, yet they put out a few days later that what they found out she was upset about was that the pastor that runs the school, or the priest that runs the school, he had a conversation with her that stuck with her, and that is what created chaos within her existence. But they never gave details. They also never released her documents as far as the evidence that she told the young Melanite girl. They never released that information. Now, we have found out since then that Shorty was a whole stalker, allegedly, kind of allegedly. I mean, her whole middle school basketball team is talking about how she was chasing them down, showing up at their family events with no invite, all this other stuff. However, there's still a core factor there that there was an adult that is present that is creating chaos in a young child's life, that is shifting them into a state that allows them to feel like it's okay to do the things that are being done. And I feel like there's similarities with this situation as well. So panel, what are your thoughts on Egyptian Ty and what he has done? And by the way, he ran, and then when the police cornered him, he did shoot at the police, and I believe he didn't kill the police or unalive the police officer, and they say his family is also in recovery as well. But he did shoot at a police officer also, and that police officer took his life. Commence.
Come on, governess. I saw you had your hand up.
Okay, so I have a few things. First, I want to acknowledge what I think Nicole said in the chat. She said, yes, this seems just like Kenneka Jenkins speaking about the Cabo Six. Absolutely. There was another thing that I wanted to add to that before we move forward, and I just remembered it when she put that in there. Okay, now, which is around the same time as Shanquella Robinson, there was another young woman that was in a hotel room with her friends that was also unalived. They got swept under the rug. And I feel like we need to also look at that, because at that same time, why was that ignored? And this was given the biggest news panel for them to just sweep that under the rug later. Then with this exactly puts me in the mind of Audrey Hale. It's a lot. Let me just run this shit out. Audrey Hale, because right after another young man ran up into a bank where he did people, that was swept under the rug as well. Now, when we're looking at Audrey Hale, Egypt, the young man from the bank, they all have similarities to them. Of course, Malik, we're not going to ever see that manifesto that they said that they have, but there are similarities that stick out, like what the Melanite and the things that he put there. Now, I want everybody because I want you to pay attention to exactly what I just said the other day, the conversation that you and I had, Malika, where Yehuda said, you are controlling this simulation, and you have to watch how they're putting these things out here so you will understand the energies and how you can control and recontrol this shit. So speaking with Jose and Aubrey earlier, I brought up the other thing. See, we're not also paying attention to a lot. When the Shanquella Robinson thing happened, what they were pushing was that these were trans women that had did this. Remember that fact. They were pushing that this was trans women that did this to Shanquella. And then it was like, oh no, we messed up. They're actually biological women that were naturally born this way. Okay, so now then you have Audrey Hale, and they were pushing the fact that she's trans to push this issue. Now you have they swept the whole thing with the man in the bank under the rug. Now they're pushing this with Egypt. So my thing is, there was another story where the black guy with the enormous afro who looked like they took him off the street out of a different form of Norbit and put him in a business suit and told him to do this news report about guns and taking guns. See, that's what this is about. But they're adding so many things and so many layers to this. I'm telling you, this is about bills, laws, and taking guns and moving agendas and fucking with the narratives of certain shit. They are puppeteering this entire thing. And I'm done.
I feel like in regards to Egypt's situation, there's always two sides of the story. Nobody knows what has happened beforehand. All we hear is what happens on the side of the person that unalives somebody, or is probably going to be the person that is unalived after you do this act, right? But nobody really understands the trauma that goes into why these actions are being taken place. So instead of me judging him, why am I going to judge you when that may just was your breaking point? That was your last thing. Now, Malika, when you put in the group chat about that video, we listened to it this rising, and we were both like, oh, he was awoke, honey. What is really going on? So, under everything that's going on and with the agendas and with the programming, literally, that is all I see in people now. The programming. It's in how they talk. It's in their movements. It's in what they do. Everything that everybody is doing nowadays, since January 1, that I can see with my eyes, under the programming. And I can see it now in real time for myself, you know? And it's crazy because now it's like you're putting all these agendas on top of those particular things to trigger people. And that is the dangerous part of it. Once a person is triggered, they not turning back, especially if their attitude is level 10 and there's no other way to bring them down.
Right.
It's difficult.
No, Chaz, were you gonna say something?
Yeah, I said with this story, I feel like now they've been trying to attack us spiritually, but I feel like because he was woke, you know what I'm saying? So now that's being brought into the narrative. You know what I'm saying? Now they're going to say people woke, or, you know, that's awakened or whatever is out here killing and just, you know, how they do it, try to twist the narrative on it. And I just, this story with me just not sitting right with me. Like, I don't know how that, you know what I'm saying? If he believed in all of this, how did it come to that? You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm at with this. I don't understand.
No, I agree with you, Chaz, because it's going to be like the point of people that are conscious going against people that are still in the programming. And they're looking at you with the Juicy J, and you have your mind in a conscious state to where you're like, no, you're not understanding. It's like Quatita was just saying, it's the combination of energies, and it's becoming a physical war because it's already spiritual. It's already spiritual warfare, and it's becoming physical is what they're trying to create. But we see what it's doing, like how Aubrey and you were bringing to the table, basically saying, we see that he's conscious. He knows what he knows. There are two sides to this story. He knows what he's talking about. He is very, very aware of what's going on around him. But something within there triggered something within him. And this is also deeper than probably what it looks like. This is also what we have to see, how they're going to make people that are more conscious to what's going on around them and aware of what's going on around them. The bad guy, you got to watch that person because that's going to be the one that's going to pop off on you. That's going to be the one. That's how they're going to start labeling you. Watch them like how they do in the Bible. Watch them with the crystals. Watch them with that. They try to demonize those little things, and that's how they're going to try to pinpoint this little physical, spiritual thing that they've got that they're trying to create, but it's not really going to ever come full through because we see what's going on, like how we're explaining now. We see what kind of plans and how the plans are aligning. It's kind of like a crime scene thing where you start seeing how the pieces are coming together in a web. We're starting to put the web together in our heads, and together we're all seeing how this all is leading up to what their chess game is all about. But that's all I have to say with Egypt as well.
It makes you wonder, like, is it a real story? You know what I'm saying? With the Shanquella Robinson, now this, like, are they just putting out these actors? You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's like placebo. Like,
so from sorry, go ahead, Carbon, because you didn't get to give your full thoughts, and I'll come back.
No, I didn't. Just real quick. I know for a fact, y'all, there are parts of the government out there that do this for a living, stage stuff. They have, I know for a fact, they have a glove that goes on your arm to make it do this, okay? To make you look like you did
like
this
they
to
did
yourself.
with Twitch.
To make it look like you did that to yourself, and you didn't do that to yourself. So all we're saying is that the whoever could have taken that whole family out and made him look like he did it. It's a possibility. Come on, Grand Rise.
So what I was going to say is, regardless of whatever this situation is, it's a reality. Because even if he's not, there's someone out here who is. There might be someone in the comments who is. You know, we've seen individuals within our own group space that have turned on Quatita, that have turned on me and said that I do things behind my husband's back. People that a person that I complimented and thought, oh, she's so sweet and she's so pretty. And it turned. And I was worried for my friend because I didn't know how that was going to show up in her life if ever she comes face to face with her again. So regardless for me, because all that we know, all of that stuff is going on, right? But him being a young creative, I can't help but to see Elijah. I cannot, and I cried as I searched last night. I cried and I cried because at one point my son's eyes were so sad that I didn't know if we might end up in this situation because he wouldn't express and he wouldn't speak on it. And I had to find different directions and avenues to where now some of y'all have seen him on the live. He's like, yeah, mom. So and he's open and he's expressive, but he just taught us on Instagram the other day about escapism. And I never even heard of it before. And it's something that they're going through. But look at that. My son is almost 20. And I didn't even have a term for what it is he experienced. So how much work did I really do even within the work? These are the things where, as much as you know that you're a good parent and you feel like you're doing the right thing, it can always be better. But you have to be willing to tell yourself, oh, I effed up a little bit right there. I have to be okay with saying that to you all, that I did not know the term for what my son was going through. And it took him all these years for him to share it. I also didn't know if he was going to have a friend who would come over, and because they're in the same energy, because like usually attracts like, if they would end up taking out my family, because that's another thing you have to worry about, or they would end up taking him out in some kind of pact, because this world doesn't matter. You have to remember, I have a cousin, which is not staged, that put a zip tie around her neck so she couldn't change her mind. And her reasoning was because she wanted to press the reset button because she knew spirituality. And she knew.
Okay. She changed her mind and couldn't do nothing about it.
Couldn't do anything. She couldn't change it. She couldn't, because she couldn't even get to the scissors in time.
Yep.
And when I think of things like that and think about situations like this, I realize again, the baby falling off of the ledge, Quatita. If we are not catching our children when they fall, if we are not setting safety nets before the fall even happens, with everything the way it's set up now, spirituality wasn't accessible to our generations. They're hearing it. There's a whole hashtag spiritual TikTok. And it's people that's giving all types of crazy information and not even following it up, like how you have Quatita within this space to check you and be like, you're taking it too far. Like, pump your brakes. They don't have that. They're just trying to figure it out on their own. And as my son had explained, you don't feel safe to really engage with your family because you feel different there. So you turn to a social society online, which then makes you feel worse about yourself. And you kind of are just out here floating on your own. So with that being said, I won't say too much on that, but I put together a few little clips so that the audience, our committee, can see what it was that Aubrey was speaking about. There's a longer 18-minute video, but I cut it down with a few clips so that you all can see who he is and the song that he requested everybody watch the video for in his final days.
And before you start, Miss Quatator, after the video, should we go ahead and break?
Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and break after the video.
Okay.
Yeah. I like to say we don't own the rights to anything that we're getting ready to show you and play. So that being said.
Isn't this a supernatural love? Isn't this a supernatural love? Together we're deadly alive. Together we're deadly alive.
Henrico police say Hall and her children were shot multiple times by 26-year-old Ty Adam Washington II.
Her son, the one who was the shooter, did have some unforgiveness and some anger about some past experiences that were unresolved. And unfortunately, it led to this.
A lot of souls had already sold out before they got here. You feel what I'm saying? To the point where once they got into their physical vessels, the program that they agreed to go up under was so strong that they are so unconscious of the fact that they working for the ops. That's how you can make sense out of why all these just everyday, just average citizens are just so easily manipulated and so easily influenced. One, because they acting and they know the same. The soul knows all, bro. That's what I'm trying to say. The soul knows all truth. They already know what the fuck is going on. They not conscious of it though. See what I'm saying? That's why they fall so hard into the matrix, my nigga. Is because they already sold their shit before they got here. If you know who you are, then you understand what you've been through and all of the tests and the tribulations that you had to go through to get right here. You understand? So you understand that I understand my own path, you feel me, of reawakening. You feel me? You got certain people in my life who have been paid to try to sell me out since the beginning. You feel me? Like, trust me, bro. This shit deep, bro. This shit deeper than what you could think it is. Never been to college. I've never been to the military. I never signed a record deal. You feel me? I never even had no job for no long period of time. You feel what I'm saying? So, ain't no whole lot of selling out came from me. Every time I channel the Most High, whether that be through music, poetry, any form of expression, whether it's with my body, any form of art expression, that's art. Any that's my higher self and that's art. So through that art is where I find the means to pay for certain shit down here in this realm. Cause I'm not gonna do what y'all do. I'm not gonna go punch that clock for 9 hours a day. I'm not gonna do that. It ain't a bitch ass thing down here that's gonna make me do it. Most people out here, they not playing at the same level that you playing at, bro. Most people are just typical, mundane ass characters that you see in Grand Theft Auto just walking down the street. Now you got some of those motherfuckers who have been paid and hired to stalk you, to basically come into your life and try and manipulate your energy and try to use your strengths and your weaknesses against you. That's all this shit was all ever about, my nigga. You want me to explain to you how they get the chosen? See, the chosen have big hearts. We have big hearts, you know what I'm saying? And we find beauty in almost anything, you know? But our problem is we give life to shit that's dead.
So, ooh.
He spoke a word.
That was deep.
I would really like, the last thing I'm going to say on this, because I'm not. As a creative, okay, as women, we go through the process of giving life, right? They have categorized an experience that we go through as postpartum depression, okay? In my reality, the way I define my reality, you are becoming a portal to something that's coming from pre-existence into the physical. And it is attaching to you on the inside. and you're growing this being. There's all types of things that you are now open to because you are in the essence of creation. You are a direct reflection of that. As an artist, I don't think that people take the time to realize sometimes things are accessing us that we aren't even aware of that are for us. I'm not even saying it's something wrong with us, but that's for us. When he said, I channel when I write, I connected to him. I've told Quatita, I don't know where these lyrics just came from. This is not my story. But when I'll sit there, I will sing and sing in another voice and be like, oh shit, who was that? And be in a city and find out the artist was from that city. I'm talking about decades ago, beginning of the times artist. And I'm here not even knowing that I am somehow channeling because I don't have the awareness and the confidence to say in that moment, I'm channeling unless I'm around my good friend Quatita. And she's like, no, but this is your gift. But when you're on your own, you don't know that. You don't know how to figure out what that is. And so you sit now with being in this open space and not knowing how to close it, not know how to protect you. This is why I created Goddessence for myself in the studio, so I wouldn't feel crazy. So I ask you all, with that 6-year-old that shot his teacher, with this young man, with these individuals, I do not condone what he did, and we see it all the time. Some people get so deep into spirituality. We even saw it with Lauryn Hill when the switch happened after she got into Rastafarianism. Sometimes it's too much for us and we take it in too fast, and it creates chaos even within the raising of the frequency. What will happen then is those individuals will think they can make decisions for others because they think they know better, like someone telling Quatita, well, I'm pregnant with Yehuda's baby. You get what I'm saying? So dig deeper and find out the story because it came from somewhere. And that's why I wanted you all to see that video clip. And that's that on that.
Before we go to break, let me say this. When we come from break, we are going to go into the 6-year-old shooting the teacher story. Okay. So, yep. Corbin.
Okay. Y'all, we're going to be right back after a word from our sponsors.
Powerful, captivating, indulgent, riveting. You hear the rumble of the earth. High council, affirmation, oracle, and tarot deck. Available for pre-sale now, only on www.awalkwiththeancestors.com.
Right, y'all, and we back. We're gonna hop right on into this next story, y'all.
Okay, so Quatita, you're gonna do this one?
We're gonna have a conversation we had about it. As you and I had. So let's kind of roll it over by saying what was said in the beginning, how we even brought it to our conversation. So let me start. There's a Genome who made a video on TikTok, and she was speaking about how Black men gaslight Black women, Melanites, and into thinking that we just want to be baby mamas and that we don't have any level of decency about ourselves. And she starts to say, Black women, you're fine. Y'all are good. Keep doing y'all. And then she says, because, you know, white women and Hispanic women, we out here doing it, if not worse, white women do it worse. And then she goes on to say, because we ghetto too. That's where my problem came in, when she says we're ghetto too, as if black women are ghetto. Don't like that. We'll get back to that in a little bit. But this conversation rolled us over into we're never really seen, even as a melanite species of beings, we're never seen, and everything is always overlooked, like this 6-year-old boy, and how sometimes genomes always see things and narrate things the way they want, because they're trying to look at the 6-year-old boy as if he's an adult that made a bad decision instead of the child. So now, Malika, let's go into exactly what took place.
Okay, so, and Quatita, there is actually an update on the case. So they're charging the mother of the 6-year-old boy. So of course they don't provide the name, and we wouldn't either, because this is a minor, and this is younger than a minor in my eyes. This is a baby. There was a day that he was in school, and according to this teacher, he looked at her with the fury in his eyes, and he pulled out a weapon and he pow-powed her. I don't know if we're allowed to say that word, but he pow-powed her, and she was able to get the other children out of the classroom. And in the interview that I watched, which was how I had explained it to Quatita when we were speaking on the phone, they just did an interview with the teacher, and they brought up that they would not be charges filed against him. And they asked, how does she feel about that? And she was saying, like, pretty much, I don't really want to comment on that. I watched this interview on GMA or 2020 or whatever the show was. I don't even, the interview was horrendous. So the whole interview focused on her condition and how she's feeling and how strong she is. I waited the whole interview to say, I kept saying to myself, they're going to ask why. She's going to bring this up as a teacher, because she's a teacher. She's in charge of these 6-year-olds, this age group. So I know for her to get that job, she's got to have a care for her children, to be like, I get that he did that, but where did it come from? We need to find them. And now would be, I would hope, having conversations of, we need to do more for these children and pay attention to the warning signs, because apparently, allegedly, there had been threats made from this child that the school had ignored, which is the basis of her lawsuit, by the way, against the school, according to her and her lawyer that sat with her on this interview, before her mom and sister sat next to her. And they also didn't bring up anything about the child and being worried about the child or what's going to happen to the child or anything of that nature. Because like a lot of these other scenarios we see, everybody sees, oh, you shot somebody? Oh, F you, we don't care where it came from. Okay. The thing that bothered me to my core throughout the entire interview was that she was claiming all of the pain and suffering. Meanwhile, the parents had a situation with the school where they were there every time that the student was there because of his condition. This week was the first week that the parents weren't there. I need to know what the parents' involvement was in this. These are the questions that I have. I want to dig deeper in that manner. Still can't find it. The Leo. Yes. I spoke to Quatita about this as well. The energy that she gave was the energy that I have dealt with my son having teachers that are in the same energy as hers, where I've had to go up there and let them know exactly who his mother is. And when they're shocked at the ability that I'm able to intellectually converse with them, they get it real quick and in a hurry, because then I snap and I turn into that extra Malika that lets you know exactly who you with. Carbon, I didn't cuss. But I let them know that, and she is giving this energy. I don't know if this baby felt ignored. I mean, none of these would give any okay, just as in the other situations. We are not okaying what happened. We are not okaying the behavior. That is, Quatita, that is so, look, to me, your baby should never be put in that situation, right? I can't. I'm just gonna say we are not saying that is okay to go. Just for the people that are listening, it's not okay to go and pick up a weapon because you're
But
upset or you're in your feelings and just go targeting people. There's other
no,
ways to do it. There's other ways to go about it.
no, it's
But
not okay with Malika. But what did you do to this baby?
that's the
That's not a
part.
typical. Yeah, that is not a typical reaction of a 6-year-old.
No,
So what did you
no.
do to make this baby want to go shoot your ass?
Come from Carbon. Why was he threatening her in the beginning?
Exactly.
What did you say to that
Exactly.
6-year-old? 6-year-olds are intelligent enough to understand when they're being threatened or something like that. Like they have emotions. I think a lot of adults undermine that children are intelligent and that they are aware of what's being said to them. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like she triggered him in a way. You know, I feel like something was triggered, something was said.
Sounds like it was
What?
an ongoing situation and it boiled over.
But how does a 6-year-old know how to load and cock a gun and take it
We
off for
don't.
safety?
Go,
That's
go
true.
ahead, Aubrey.
Honestly, to me, I feel like this is the school shit that was happening. That was more so of the breaking point with me in US Bank. Because when we think about it, people will, oh, you need to do this. You need to do that. Can you not do this? Can you not do that? Oh, Tyrone, we need you to do this. We need you to do that. Oh, why did you do that? Go turn your light. We're going to call your mom. Oh, no, 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 no. Like all of those things, I feel like this genome woman did to this child. And honestly, I remember being 6 years old and getting tired of my teachers telling me, Aubrey, can we do our inside voices? Okay. Girl, no, I can't. Okay. I cannot do my inside voices because guess what? We are all talking loud. Okay. You will not single-handedly try to make me feel like that I am the problem. A lot of these children have no voices outside of their home. So when they get to school, they're able to actually be themselves where they should be because that's where children are. Teachers are there to teach you and help you understand the elements of the characteristics that they teach you. Respect, whatever the other shit the counselors be teaching the children with all those big words, courtesy, all of that. Okay, that is what they teach you. They don't teach you to go in and try to act as if that they're your mom because that's only going to trigger children. And I feel like teachers are only going to school to teach to get a check because in some places they have a raise. So if I'm making $35 an hour as a motherfucking teacher and I'm over here with Sally Mae Jr., Leroy, and Chad, see say that again. Then of course I'll sit there and teach ABCs 1, 2, 3s and you know me's all day, honey, until we ain't got nothing else to do. Okay, class is over. But that does not make me a better individual knowing that I am as old as I am and I should be held as an example for these children instead of bullying them because this is a bully. This is a lifelong bully. These children also are getting bullied by their peers. So do you not know that you're adding fuel to the fire? Go ahead, y'all. I'm sorry.
Come on, governors.
No, I want to add to what Aubrey is saying and what Malika said, which is why I was like, because first of all, I was a paraprofessional for years. I worked at a lot of schools in the Cincinnati public school districts, and I saw a lot of shit on both behalves from parents and from teachers. Now, teachers do a lot of fucking bullying and they talk about the children and their families right in their children's faces as if children are stupid, and they're not. And I seen it, and I actually got into an altercation where I was almost going to beat a teacher, excuse me. I was going to beat her up in her own classroom. But I was a paraprofessional at this particular school for special needs children, and they were high school children, and he could not speak. So therefore, she was always taking him to the bathroom and giving him showers and needing to wash him and things like that. Teachers do a whole bunch of shit, and other teachers who knows what's happening ignore a whole bunch of shit. Now, on the flip side, I used to see parents that were very neglectful, very didn't give a fuck type of parents. And when they brought their children in, their children were extremely bad. They would be under the table. I couldn't get them from up under the table. They're constantly running out of the classroom. I'm having to chase them down the hallways. They come in, they talk to me about drinking beer with their family and smoking with their families and different things like that. And little girls with lipstick on and makeup on, and their parents is bringing them in that way, which let me know there's molestation happening in these houses and shit as well. She's rubbing her crotch on the side of the chair. I was that little girl. I know what all of that is. I know the signs of it. Now, again, like Malika said, who taught this child how to load a weapon, how to cock the weapon? Like, instead of being sent to school with the Kevin Hart note that said Miss Green, he was sent to school with an armed, loaded weapon. Because where the fuck did he get it from? And if he snuck it, how the fuck you didn't know it was missing? I have a lot of questions about it.
Absolutely.
The teacher did something because that's what the fuck they do, like I said. And he was retaliating because nobody else was helping him or listening. I blame both the teacher and the fucking parent.
And I want to jump.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. I just want to jump in real quick. I want to piggyback on you, governess. Just to say, you're not lying. I didn't necessarily work for the school system, but I worked in that field for 23 years. And just my own personal experiences in school, we are gaslit. Okay. We are gas. I don't know exactly what happened in this situation, but just in general, they gaslight us all the time. They're very passive aggressive with us. So if you're passive aggressive with a person and you're gaslighting them, I'm just saying, a person can only take so much. I'm just saying. I'm done. Who's next?
So I was going to say, because I was looking at the comments, and cousin Nicole, I think I lost your comment, cousin, but she was saying that our children should, I'm putting the emphasis on the caps, should know how to do that with a weapon, because they are consistently unaliving us. Now, cousin Nicole, what I will say to that is I absolutely agree, but we should know when our children should have those weapons in their embrace and when they should not. My children know about weapons. I have made the mistake of having one in my drawer, and my daughter knows. She came, she said, "So you're irresponsible." And I was like, "What I do now, Nye?" And she was like, "You've got something in your desk. I think you should go and check it." And why are you in my desk? But that's still not even a question that I can ask you right now, because how dare I address you on it when I shouldn't have had it there? When I got off of work, I should have put it back where it's supposed to be. Now, if I had children that behaved in a different way and was honest with myself, not the mamas that know that their baby's beating up everybody on the block and they like, "Well, no, that's not my child. I didn't raise them that way." Not them mamas, but the honest mamas who say to themselves, "My child can do better here. I can trust my child in these moments, but I know that they, whether it be because of me or society or whatever, all of it, I know that they would not be the best at handling this situation." You have to check that child's circumstances before you make things accessible to them that they might end up even using on you. The last story that we talked about. So these are all things that we have to take into consideration. But yes, Nicole, I did want to agree with you on that they do, but we also have to make sure that we're showing up as parents if we're going to give them such a huge responsibility of knowing how to handle and use a weapon.
Facts. I think it's Charming and then Aubrey.
I agree with everybody, but that's what I was thinking of. Whenever I see things when it comes to children, I can't help but think of their parents and the relationship they have with the adults in their life and the examples they have, because as much as a 6-year-old should understand and does understand that you can use a gun against somebody that's for, you know, violent reasons. It's the fact that the 6-year-old was allegedly able to plan the whole thing, and like Governor said, have a loaded gun, put a loaded gun, load the gun himself, I don't know, and put it in his backpack, his backpack, and know that that was who they were aiming for. You know what I mean? Like, there's so much to that inside of their household and what they're teaching them and what they're talking about. Like, I feel like the parents need to be investigated too, because I feel like that this has to be a case of child abuse. Like, if the kid was able to come to the school, that has to be a case of neglect, you know. So I agree with everybody.
Carbs, you know, I talks with my hands, honey. I was agreeing, okay? Listen, I'm in it to win it.
Oh, I thought you was about to go in. Like, okay, well, I got something to say after. You know what I'm saying? No, I got you. I got you.
Everything that everybody is saying is literally something that I feel like that we all agree on, because it's just too much. Go ahead, Charms.
Yeah, come on, Charms.
Lace Cash said the mother got indicted in the comments.
Yeah,
so
the mother got
I
indicted.
didn't know that. I didn't know about the update to it. So yeah,
you know, the mother got indicted. But I mean, like, okay, I'm the type of parent, when Toddy was growing up, I'd be like, I taught Toddy, you hit a bitch in her throat if you can't do nothing else. And I don't know what happened when you get home. I don't know. You pick something up and crack that bitch in her head. I don't know what happened when you get home. I don't know. I'm that parent. Now, children overhear a lot of shit, and they may have heard the parents say that, like, I will that bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like, you right, mama. You know, like, you don't really know. You got to be very aware and careful. But I was that parent to tell you to pick something up and knock a bitch in their head, because my mama was that parent, and I believe in that. But I ain't saying that that's what happened, and I ain't saying I would have ever told Toddy to go take this to school and see what happened. But I'm just saying, the parenting don't be parenting in 2023.
I don't even think it was that deep. I personally feel like I don't know. But what makes sense for me, whatever had been happening between this student and this teacher had been happening, that student knew mom and daddy didn't keep that firearm locked up and came up with a plan. That's what I feel.
But Carbon, remember, the mom and dad were in school with him every day. They were present for every class.
Didn't know that.
This was the first week that they did not accompany him to school.
I didn't know that either.
Did he not?
I didn't know that.
That's what I was saying.
I did not know that.
Didn't know that.
That
Wow.
was saying, how do you
So
know
if
there wasn't abuse?
Right.
So
if anything was happening to him between him and the teacher, the parents had to have witnessed it, because I've sat with Elijah in school. Naya's homeschool, so I haven't had to do that. But I done sat in the desk next to him. My mama did it with me because she wasn't checking for me. I was really just, I mean, I never was even grounded. I never got popped before. I don't know. But
I did.
I was but
I did.
my mom sat in on the class to watch the teachers, because my mom was very serious about who is going to be around her child. So she would request a sit-in so she could analyze the teacher and the relationship with the teachers and the children. And she would do it throughout the school year. And this is the way, you know, and she would do things like every week, once a week, she would bring in a large pizza for whoever's at my table to share it with me. But she was scoping. And one day, they tried to lock me up in the school. Not lock me up, like, well, they did give me detention for not bringing toilet paper when they wanted supplies. And my mom came in there and cleared that up. But one day she came in and I was in the nurse's office and I was sick. I told them I didn't feel good. And they kept me there and said I could not call my mother. And I did not know what to do. My mom happened to bring in lunch and I heard her voice and I said, Mom? And she was like, Malika, why are you in here? Let me tell you something. My mom is Quatita will tell you, she's very soft-spoken and she's very sweet. And she does things like, she's not going to hand you money. She's going to roll it up and put it in your hand. My mom is that person. She's
I was like,
very sweet. Gas money. It's okay. It's okay.
That's what she said.
But that day, oh, my mama had showed up and she had turned all the way out. And they ended up finding out that I was sick. It was just a sickness that didn't come with a fever. So it could have been really bad. And they got that part too. But anyway, these schools be acting the worst, but the parents would have been privy to that because they accompanied the child every day.
Yeah, that's a detail I did not know. I had no clue about that whatsoever. Interesting.
So did you stay home
Interesting.
because you knew what your baby was gonna do? Like, and you thought, oh, the baby's a child, so they can't get charged. And I don't like her no way. She need to go. Let's get
That's
him
the
new-
drift
or-
I was catching when you was telling the story.
I mean, she
Allegedly.
is a genome.
When he got home, it
They
was
said-
you didn't do it right.
Aubrey.
You didn't finish the job.
Stop.
He is a
You know you
genome.
got
Okay, no,
geez.
allegedly. This is for entertainment purposes only.
It's only right. Allegedly. This is all alleged, y'all.
Spraying the whole panel.
Okay. Hate to do it to us, but we got to take another break. We need to pay some bills, y'all. So we got some words from our sponsors.
Whoever said that everything that glitters isn't gold never met goddesses. When my mind and heart feel led astray, or even on a gloomy day, when negative energies come my way, return to sender with one spray. With intention, I will mist, ensuring protection, peace, and bliss. From the north, south, east, and west, Goddessence makes me feel my best. Goddessence Calming Protection Mist, available now at www.grandrising.com.
They say do everything with attention. From my hands to yours. May you receive all the energy.
I am really struggling with something and I want to talk about it. But before I do, I need people, if you are a parent who was like touched out by your children, I do not want to see you in the comments. If you are someone with any kind of neurodivergency and it manifests or shows up as you not liking touch or people touching you, I do not want to see you in the comments. Okay? But I feel like I'm dying from like touch starvation, y'all. I don't get hugs. I don't know. I feel like if I were to get the kind of hug that I fucking really want, I would crumble into pieces. I don't. How do you deal with that? I really like need to be like touched. And I know someone's gonna say like, okay, go to the salon and get your hair done, or get a massage, or get your nails done, right? So someone can hold your hand. None of those people love me. None of those services love me. Right? But I'm really struggling. I'm really struggling with like I don't get hugs. That shit is it could be like maybe a hello, whatever, maybe. But it's not enough. I don't know how how am I gonna go the rest of my life like this? I think that's really hard. I I'm just really struggling. I'm really struggling. Like I spent like last night just going like this. Like 20 minutes. I'm just, if anyone else is struggling, what are you doing?
That po baby there. That
Our
po
next
child.
story. Our next story is Maite. Y'all can only imagine. Like I was crying with her because this ended up coming. Listen, this ended up being on my timeline right after Egyptian, and thinking about Elijah, and then this popped up once I finally gathered myself and was like, okay, you've released it. Then she came up, and I was like, what's happening? I just want everybody to be happy, and there's so many people that are going through so many things. So the condition that she is speaking of is touch deprivation. It's also referred to as skin hunger and touch starvation. And that's how she listed it, as touch starvation. And what this is there's individuals that they haven't been touched. She explained that when she went to the Dominican Republic to visit her family, and by the way, why it really touched home is because she looks just like Elijah's aunts on his dad's side because they're Dominican. What they're looking for is the touch. They're looking for an embrace, and it's not a sexual thing. And a lot of people are coming at her. It's a lot of, listen, I saw some Melanite men in the comments that you got to get your shit together, because a woman saying that she needs to be touched, the last thing we want is for you to come at us sexually. If you are a Melanite male, please hear me and hear me in love. If a woman is expressing that she needs to be touched and she's not being specific in regards to it being a sexual situation, because usually when we say that, we want you to be more aggressive or more tender when we're talking about sexual things. But
Yeah,
in
we be like,
regards
"Get
to
this pussy." Is it just me? I'm the only one?
No,
Let
you're
me go
not.
on mute.
No, you're
Sorry.
not. You're not. I can't go on mute. I'm telling the story, but you're not the
Yeah, wait a minute.
Oh, why are you like that?
Why is she doing this to me every time?
I was in it, girl. Did you see me? I was like, yes, Malika, tell them. And here you go, ma'am.
Okay. So my lovely, amazing Melanite men that we love so much, I need you to enter and overstand, because some of your reflections, as far as just the looks, you come from a different path in life, possibly. But if you are hearing a woman, so I should turn off her camera. If you are hearing a Melanite woman, a feminine, say that she is requiring touch, please do not assume immediately that it is sexual, because that's honestly a turnoff to us, especially for those of us, and this is not her, but those of us who have experienced sexual abuse and are figuring out how we need to be touched. Because that's a process that Ro and I had to go through as well, where I had to figure out what was comfortable and wasn't comfortable for me. In Maite's situation, her family is not big on giving affection. When she just recently went to the Dominican Republic, she said she got 4 hugs. She got a hug from her mom and her dad when she arrived at the airport, and she got 1 hug from her mom and her dad when she was departing at the airport. And then she came back and she said, my aunt hugged me too, and my aunt, she gave me a lot of hugs. But this is a feeling that I just want to be hugged by someone that means something and that I mean something too in their life. Like someone, it's not even like a stranger hug, even though we'll go around and then I'll give some of the resolutions that she found that she had already been using and some that the other individuals on TikTok gave her. But this is something that they want from someone who actually cares about them, especially after quarantine and all of those things, because the loners, especially the individuals, the singles, they went without this contact with other humans, which is necessary. And it just sucks to know that she doesn't have anyone in her space that looks at her and makes her feel special as a friend, because your friend should make you feel special, and can pull her in for that embrace. So panel, what do you think? Because I really, when I watched it, I was like, should I send it to him now or should I wait? I want to know. Go ahead,
Okay, so I feel like that I kind of connected with the video because since being around my familia, you guys, I have been hugging more. And I believe that for me, I understand where she's coming from because I wasn't receptive to hugs. I did not know how to fully receive them because it was not anything that was done in my family or like hugs was just very non-existent. And coming from, you know, that that past, I don't even think that they even knew how. You know what I'm saying? Like to even give. So I understand where the levels of I need that touch, I need. But I feel like for me, what saved me was being able to receive those hugs in a genuine way from my familia, from being able to understand that there are people that are going to love you for just what you do and what you bring to the table. And it doesn't matter about anything else. It doesn't necessarily have to be put in a category. It doesn't have to be a specific way, but now I'm able to receive those hugs in a different light. And it makes me feel great because not only am I able to just receive that hug, but I'm also able to receive the energy that comes from it. So I connect with her when I was in that dark place and I did not know how to receive LOVE in the most organic way because it was never taught to me um, in a way that was organic. It was always very poisonous and very dark. So now I think that to know that that is actually a thing, I'm just grateful that that I'm not at that point. And I just want to hug her. Like, girl, come here. I love you. Like, that's how I want to do with her just because I know exactly where that kind of feels like. So that's my take on it.
It's just sad, you know. Come on, Jose.
Although I do understand where she's coming from, I also can say for me, I have a different way. Although I did not grow up getting many hugs or being super physical, especially from the person that I thought was going to be a parental that I needed to show me what I needed, I had grown into the person that I wanted to be and became the person that I know what it's like to not be touched with love. So I touch others with love. And I do that unconsciously, but sometimes consciously because I know what it feels like. And I think some people don't cherish that. And it is uncomfortable, but it's not uncomfortable for me because I know what I desire and I know what love and the feeling of, you know, giving somebody that feeling of joy and that feeling of, oh my gosh, I can feel somebody here for me for once is there. I could totally hug her because I understand what it feels like, but I also know I know what she feels and I know how I have morphed myself to pull in that kind of love and bring in that kind of love to other people because it can be a dark like place. It can be a dark component for you to have yourself understanding only one or two people want to hug me. Only one person really genuinely wants to give me the embrace that I need, but I need more than that. I feel like I want to feel love on a bigger spectrum, but I've learned how to morph myself into the type of person that can give love on a spectrum to where it's for everybody, even myself. And I definitely know that's a real thing, but I know I've morphed myself to make that something that is outside of myself. It is not me. And I made it to where love rules all for me, love rules all. And I try to do that to where there is no touch deprivation or anything. And I could just hug all the panel and everybody here now in committee. Come here. Come on. I know what it feels like.
Hey, look. I'm just like, look, she fluffy.
Carbon, you sound far away. I know you gonna tell. So y'all couldn't tell me that I sounded far away. So
How's this? Is this
that's
better?
perfect.
Gratitude. Thank you. Gratitude. Gratitude. No, I'm just gonna say she fluffy, I'm fluffy. We give good hugs. So whoever not hugging her is missing out. I'm just saying. Baby, you miss all that fluffiness and all that love and all that squishiness, baby. We give good hugs. Yeah, I'm just saying. Somebody missing out on all that love she got to give. That's all I'm saying.
So for me growing up, my mom used to tell us that she loved us. We didn't necessarily get a lot of hugs, but we did get hugs, but it wasn't all the time. But she let us know that we was loved. Like she would individually wake us up in the middle of the night, we ain't got nothing else to do, or like it would be times that we would rent movies and my mom would wake us up like, y'all ain't going to school, it's movie day, and we lay in my mom's bed and I'm not gonna cry. Wait,
it's okay.
That's what I'm saying. Like this is like really okay.
That was her thing. Like she would wake us up and we would watch Breaking to Electric Boogaloo and all kind of shit. It would be Freddy Krueger. Like we are piled up in her bed. We're cooking and we're eating because that was what she did. Even like through the week, we knew what we was gonna eat. Some days, like because we knew Friday was like barbecue day, go out to eat day. You know what I'm saying? Saturday, y'all better fend for yourself. Sunday, we gonna make a big ass dinner, and I knew it was gonna involve greens, and I was happy about it. So throughout the week, it would depend, but like we had set shit that we would do. Now, granted, some of them days she was getting her ass whooped from a stepdaddy, but listen, it was shaking. You got to pick and choose your battles in there. You got to take the good wherever you can find it. But I'm saying we knew that we was loved, and so I make sure that I hug and kiss my daughters. Like the first thing Toddy do when she see me is hug me and kiss me and hold me, and I'd be like, girl, let me go, but she just keep holding me because that's how we do. And anytime, not just me and my children, but anytime we are in each other's presence, that's the first thing we do. We hug each other, even when we're on the phone. Love you too. And we hang up because that is what we're building. We're building, okay, Aubrey, because period, we're building a family here of love and support because that's what matters. I used to teach Toddy, you don't always have to be friends with the people or the kids at school who got a lot of friends. Find those who don't have the friends and become their friends. Bullies are not good. Make sure that you ask somebody their name. That shit matters. Ask somebody how they're doing today. That shit matters. So even like if I'm out a lot of times, I would see them laying out, how are you? Because that matters. You might step over that motherfucker, but still say, hey, how you doing? Because if so, you know what I mean? Don't get too close to my car. I'm just saying. But I still love you. And I want to know, how are you today? Because that matters. To be seen matters, So, period.
Charmy, did you want to add to that too, or you want? Can I go into the things to do?
You can go on.
Are you sure? No, Charmy, no. You're gonna respond because I love your relationship with your babies and in your household. So I really want to hear. This is one of the times, sis, that I'm gonna have to say, nope, you're not gonna stay on mute. Can you please provide some feedback because you're so insightful.
I agree.
Okay, so I don't know. I really don't. Like I kind of just absorbed with what everybody said. Like I just absorbed it all, and I kind of disagree with everybody. Like, I'm not sure. I don't know.
So go ahead, Quatita.
No, I was just gonna say, but even when we were all together before the aesthetic, baby girl crawled up in your lap at dinner, and you just loved on her. You know what I mean? Yeah. And she knew she could do that. You know what I mean? It didn't matter where you were. Like, that's what it's about, hugging and touching and,
Okay, so I actually do remember what I wanted to say. I was like holding on to it for so long and then it kind of like went away. I don't actually remember. I still have a lot of like child work to do with my memory. I don't remember a lot of things that happened in my childhood. Like I remember certain random points, but like I don't actually remember if I did or didn't receive a lot of hugs, but I do know that I try to engage with, especially my daughter, you know, like what Tita said, like that's my daughter. So I give her lots of love-ins, and sometimes she'd be like, no kisses. I'd be like, okay, I'm not gonna kiss you. I'd be like, can I put my cheek on yours? And she'd be like, yes. I'd be like, okay, that's fine. But you know, I don't know, like it's really important to, you know, give affection to other people. And what I was gonna say is it reminded me of like, okay, plants. Like it's so random, but plants, I don't know if you guys ever, you know, have your house plants in your house or whatever, but what I noticed when I have my house plants is they always gravitate towards each other, and they're always intertangled with each other. Or even like plants that are hanging, I swear I will be standing next to a tree and it will like lean over and it'll like grab my shirt. Or and I'll be like, oh my, it keeps grabbing me. Like I'll be like, you know what? Okay, hi, hey, how you doing? You know, and like that is just because we are energetic, electric beings, you know. It's so unfortunate that she feels deprived of that energy, because that is a part of our like livelihood, you know, like that's a part of how we grow, you know. We're plants, you know, we're machines, we're, you know, animals, we're, you know, and all that. And so that was one of the first things I thought of when we started talking about it, is how plants do so well together, and when they sit and they're together, they create an environment and they create an ecosystem just by being together. They don't have to be in the same dirt or the same pots, but just by being in the same energy, they grow and they intertwine. So you know, I'm not the most affectionate person, like off tops, you know, like off the bat, but I'm not like, I will hug, you know, I'm gonna hug Malika, I'm gonna hug Quatita, Aubrey, I'm gonna hug everybody with all, you know, all the energy that I have, because, you know, I don't see them very often. And that's important for me to exchange that energy in that moment. So yes. I remember.
Oh, come on. Bring it home, Malika. Come on, mama.
Gratitude. Okay, so after hearing each and every one of you speak, you know I gotta say something, right? You know I gotta say something. First of all, Aubrey, going off of Cam, I love you. I love you.
I love
And
you too.
I have seen your process, and I see how you show up, and I see the strength in you and how much you have overcome.
Girl, don't do that, because I'm about to let it out.
Listen. But let me tell you what it is, though, Aubrey. Especially when you and Quatita go into these moments, I notice with the two of you, it's like duck off, you know. And I think that battles and negates the aggravation that we have with, why do they always think that we're so strong? Like I remember at one time, Ro had said to me, "It's okay for you to say you're not okay." And to like not be like, give me a second. And so people won't see our vulnerability. They'll only see the necessary aggressiveness, the necessary energy that we have, that we know we hold our shit down and we do it gracefully. But getting to see those moments of tenderness, like as much as I'd be like, "Ooh, my friend gonna cry," because you know Quatita gonna have that roll of napkins right next to her, right?
Yes.
I love when that happens, even when it's a movie. Look, see, even when it's off of a movie, because you're so tender.
Yeah.
But you are a warrior, and being able to show both sides is so much balance that is exuding in that moment. So I just wanted to say, I'm sending you 100,000,000 infinite hugs, everyone that's on the panel. Now, if y'all know me, and if you have met me, you know Malika is a hugger, and I'm not just gonna hug you, I'm a hug and I'm a rock, and we're gonna swing for a little bit, and even when you try to let go, I probably won't, and you
I'm gonna pretend like I ain't touch your booty and stuff, but
you're allowed to do that. You're allowed to do that. Just jiggle it, shake it, whatever it takes.
Y'all, Malika give good hugs. I know from personal experience.
I'm just kidding.
I'm going to pull you in, but a lot of people will say, "Wow, like your hugs look amazing." And I never knew about touch deprivation. But what I did know was that my father grew up without hugs. And my mom also had situations within her own family, but they were a little bit more affectionate. But my father always made it known, any boyfriend or friend in high school that I brought over that was masculine energy, he was going to give them pound, which you always see our men do, and then he was going to pull them in, hug them and hold them, because it was his mission to ensure that no one else could say I didn't receive hugs. No one else that was the younger version of him. Like, I remember Ro telling me, your dad hugged me. And he really thought hard. He couldn't remember a time that a man that he just met that was a Melanite had pulled him in for a hug and hugged them like he had them, like he was their child, you know? And so that's why when I see people, I hug like that. I come from a household where Quatita will tell you, if the babies are leaving the living room, they're like, love you, mom. Love you too. And I will come up, we'll have our little hug session. Elijah, funny enough, I think we're rougher with our boys because especially there's a worry that they're going to be too sensitive if we give them too much love and affection. Please dismiss that thought. Hug your babies. Because Elijah and I had to go through a phase where even him laying his head on my lap and me playing in his hair, I could feel his discomfort, like I'm not used to this, but I love it. Now we're in a space where it's just natural, but it took work to get there, whereas it could have just been something that innately was throughout his existence. And that's for me to fix, and we have. But just please dismiss that. Okay. Someone said touch is probably her love language. Maite said it's not her love language. Her love language is actually acts of service. And then she says she does not believe in love languages because the creator is supposedly shady. I got to go down the rabbit hole with that one. Oh, he is charming. Okay, I'm gonna talk to you about that later because I need to know about that. I was going to say, if you go into the comments on TikTok, it was like I was spraying goddessins all over my phone. Like, you get a spray, you get a spray, you get a spray. Because there were individuals that were saying that I haven't been hugged. I haven't felt that affection in almost a decade. And then came a comment on our screen that said, I haven't had a genuine hug in 6 years. So it's in our space as well. And here I was thinking that I was far from that. Like, we getting all the love here. The resolves that they gave for it, setting up massages to just fix it temporarily until it's corrected. Setting up massages. The other one was getting a pedicure. Like she said, she didn't want to hear that though, or getting her hair done. She said that wasn't good enough anymore. A weighted blanket, a weighted and a heated blanket. And the one that I thought was the coolest, and you can go visit, it's Maite Lizbeth on TikTok, and she has a video where she has a full list that she goes through. But the one that I thought was the coolest, I saw in the comments, they said that they recommended that she should apply to be a baby cuddler. Oh, that was the other thing. Some people told her to look for orgies in her area because, like, they have cuddle parties. No, look, they have cuddle parties where it's people that experience touch deprivation and others, and they lay together and they cuddle. And they even have professional cuddlers that will come to your house and cuddle you. These are things I did not know.
They sure
but
do.
the baby cuddling, the babies in the NICU that need the affection.
The baby cuddling. That other shit is weird.
Yeah, you can apply. Yeah, you're not just gonna be behind me spooning me, and I don't even know who you is. Like, who are you?
You know, shit growing and
Like, excuse me, what is that? Okay, I'm sorry.
Skin all sticky.
But to the committee, just know that we love you, and that hug that we shared in gratitude, Jose, that hug was also with you, and I hope that you hugged your phone and give gratitude to Quatita because she does that to us all the time. Give me a kiss. She be playing around and messing around and stuff, but those moments are a lot for me. There's been days when I needed a friend to hug me before Quatita and I were even friends, and she was the first one to say, come here, come in, give me a kiss. You forgive me? Give me a hug. Y'all know what I'm talking about because we all are fans, right? Okay. And just doing that. And if you are someone who's comfortable with it, show up that way in other people's lives. You see someone in the car next to you, challenge your ability to be empathic in that moment. And if you see someone that seems shifted, just tell them, wow, you look so beautiful. Or, oh my gosh, you look amazing. I hope you have a great day. I hope your day is as beautiful as you are. All of those things are simple things that we can say where now you've been guided into them. It's, I was having the worst day. Where did you come from? This is my guides that came through and spoke to me. So that's that on that. And I give gratitude for you all expounding in the way that you did. Oh, that's beautiful.
Now, I know we have to take a commercial really quickly, but I want to say this. I was in a store one day, and this Melanite lady, I was like, "Oh, you are so beautiful." She was like, "I'm a reflection of you, sis," and I took that as, you know, exactly what you said, and I was like, "Oh my God!" And I remember that, and I now use that to people. And so sometimes we don't understand, or we don't see when we are being a reflection, or whether that's a bad reflection
Or a good one.
or a good reflection. And so I want to say this. I want to just, because, you know, I like to give out Star of the Weeks. So Star of the Week goes to Jose, because Jose has mirrored the greatness that was already in him. And he just didn't know it. And so I love you. And I think you're doing an amazing job of recovery. And it matters. It counts. You're a beautiful person inside and out. And you're our Star of the Week, Jose. Gratitude.
Gorgeous person inside and out. I agree. You deserve it, Jose. We love you, my man. You know, absolutely love you.
I mean,
Okay,
you're the
well,
hardest gay man I know in the fucking world. You're
Did you
the
not see
hardest
me?
gay man in the world. I swear to
what I
God.
did?
Right on, my man. Like,
Yo,
We see you. We see you.
what the hell? Jack, all right, my man.
I'm done.
Gratitude.
I'm done. Okay. That's so
Gratitude,
funny.
Peter.
Love you, Jose.
I love you all too.
Love you, Jose.
That means a lot.
Wait,
Yeah, we
Quantita,
gonna.
committee, sorry. If you see what just happened, realize that this is family, right? You see what Quantita said about received and reflected. You can reflect this same thing in your household. I saw the cousins that said they ran through their house and gave their babies their kisses and their hugs. Make that a regular thing, please, for me. Babies off the ledge. We need to get them back on it with stable feet.
When we come back, I'm gonna explain why she keeps saying it. I'm gonna tell you the dream.
Okay. Gratitude.
Okay. We'll be right back after word from our sponsors, folks.
My name is Quantita Dean, and I am the Ancestral Interpreter. Soul Sessions Live is a show that you must hear and see to believe. I have helped many people connect with a lost loved one to get the closure they deeply desire. This is my passion, and I can't wait to take you on a walk with the ancestors.
Okay, we back.
So make sure that you're going to grandrising.com, GRANDRI5ING, to get you some merch from the Grand Malika. I always want to say Malika James. That is so weird. Grand Malika. Make sure you're checking out Chaz for some of her beautiful jewelry. And even, okay, and she got the wine. Just so you know. There is pudding. Hi, Pumpkin. She's over there going to like, also, be looking out for good vibes from Charming T as well. I'm sure if you reach out to Charming via her IG, you probably be able to purchase some of her products as well until she becomes a sponsor and we get Melamar up and running. Make sure you're checking out Miss Nina Yvonne, one of our first sponsorship ads that we ran at the beginning of the program, the broadcast, and check that out. Also, get your deck of cards from Quatita at awalkwiththeancestors.com. I'm also booking for the month of June if you like a session. Now, in the beautiful way that it's supposed to be done, I'm trying to talk, and hopefully Malika will be coming out with her Oracle deck as well, because see, that's how shit is done. So hopefully she'll be coming out with her Oracle deck soon, because she is one of the best entrepreneurs that we know. And so orders are being processed, but my hold up with the orders, you guys, is the booklet. This is the booklet that tells you about the damn cards that I have, okay? But when I went to have them done and printed so I could get some of the orders out, these motherfuckers told me $1,200 and then $900, and then told me they'll take another $100 off for $800, and I said, you bitches is a lie. So give me a few days before I start to send them out, because I need your booklets or your pamphlets in with your cards, okay? Because there's also messages in there that I have put together. So now, real quick, let me go through the dream. So I have a dream last night, this rising, that it's me, Toddy, and my sister Trish, and we're going into this place because Toddy and Trish is getting ready to apply for an apartment separately, not together, but they were both looking for an apartment for whatever reason, but they both have an apartment, so I don't know. But they go into the place. I don't go in. I'm standing outside. I'm talking to someone. So then all of a sudden somebody told me, hey, come on in. So when I walk in, it's a gym, like a basketball gym. And so I'm trying to understand, why is this a gym? And I see two guys sitting at the table, which is the people, I guess, that were taking the applications. Now they're sitting at a high table, like on high chairs. And as I'm walking over there, they both kind of turn around and they're like whispering over my head. And I'm like, what the fuck are y'all doing? And I'm like, what's going on? And the one guy is two of them. One has locks and the other one doesn't. The one without the locks says, do you know Christopher? And I'm like, yes, because Christopher is my sister's dude. And I'm like, oh, well, maybe she told him who Christopher was because she's applying for the apartment. And so he said, so you know Chris? And I said, yes. He was like, well, come here, let me show you something. And I'm like, what? And he got down and he started walking. He's like, come on, I want to show you something. And I'm like, well, show me what? Because now, like I told them, my spidey senses is tingling. I feel like something isn't right. So he's walking, he walks out the gym, and he doesn't go far, but he goes out the gym to a hallway. He turns right into a little room, and then he turns left, and then he opens the door, he unlocks it. And he was like, go ahead and go in. And I'm like, no. He's like, just go in. I want to show you something. So I open the door. When I open the door, I realize it's a living quarter, like somebody's living there. And I say, okay. He said, look. And I say, look, I'm looking. He was like, look. So when I turn around, when you walk through the door and you look above the door, it's a ledge, like a shelf, and it has a whole bunch of trophies and like statues and bells. And I saw the bells and I'm like, oh, bells. I love bells. You have bells. And he was like, look. And I'm like, I'm looking. I see it. And there is a red bell that I'm thinking now that stood out to me. It was red, like it was a cover on it or something. But anyway, that's a color that stands out to me when I'm thinking about it. But he keeps doing like this, like he's looking for something. And so I'm like, I'm looking. He's like, look. I say, I see, I'm looking. In that very moment, a baby raises his head up and is looking around. And I'm like, oh my fucking God, why is there a baby on this ledge? What are you doing? This baby is going to fall. The baby has on a dark blue onesie. And he like, I'm like, what are you doing? And in that moment, I realized in a dream, I said, oh, he's an enemy of Chris. Like, oh shit, he didn't kidnap Chris's baby. Chris doesn't have a little baby. I don't know. But I'm like, oh my God, this baby is going to fall. And as I say that, the baby tumbles off of the ledge and I catch it, but the baby hit the floor, but I caught it by its arm before it hit the floor hard. So I picked it up and I'm like holding the baby, and he says, you got to name him. And I said, name him? I said, how long have you had this baby? How did you get this baby? You stole this baby. How long have you had this baby? And in that moment, I heard in my mind 2 months. But then he said, 2 weeks. And I'm like, no. And he's like, you got to name him. And I said, well, I name him Jacob because Jacob means one of great importance. And I'm like, yes, I'm going to name him Jacob because that means one of great importance. And then I fucking woke up. Now, why was that crazy to me? Because yesterday I kept hearing the name Yaqub. And I know Yaqub to be Jacob. And when you're looking at history, Yaqub was the scientist that created genomes. But I know that Yaqub is Teglatron, okay? And Teglatron is over gene splicing and creation and certain inventions and stuff like that. So I kept saying yesterday, oh, this must be Teglatron ready for me to put the class up. I haven't put the class up. I got to put the class up. So then I have this fucking dream, and I tell Malika, that's what she's been referring to, the baby falling off the ledge.
And there's something that you stated in regards to what Teglatron is connected to. And it took me right back to certain things that pass from the parent to the child. You're going to have to sign up for the class to get the details. So just make sure that you stay tuned. I'm not going to say what it is. You're going to have to learn that in the class. But there's certain things that pass from parent to child that we might not also be taking consideration to when it comes to our children and what they're experiencing. And all these children that are coming out that are so hurt and so in pain that it doesn't bother them to see someone else be placed in pain, because I've been here for so long. So now you get a taste of my medicine type of energy, and it's interesting with hearing you say it again, Quartz Eater, because the dream I had after you was a shape-shifting entity attempting to grab Naila and pull her from me. And I'm chasing her and grabbing her and holding her with all my might, and even tried to appear as Ro at one point. And I had to check the F out of it and say, I know who my effing husband is, and you need to keep it moving. I ain't cursed again, Carbon. I know who my effing husband is, and you need to keep it moving. But one thing about that, people will scare you away from your spirituality and these lessons that you teach, or they will attempt to do so. You have to be grounded in your knowing, because the only way that you are able to address things that aren't for you or for your children is by knowing and being aware of what they are and learning within yourself how to sense them. And I really, really feel like Quatita's dream is a big lesson. And it speaks to something that we really have to start paying attention to. Get that baby up off the ledge.
Get the baby off the ledge.
Or in other words, Malika, Spirit is ready for us to love our children again. Genuinely.
The one of most importance. And I don't know if that's what Jacob means, but genuinely, Aubrey. Absolutely.
Yes.
And the dark blue must be Teglatron's color. I have to assume that to be true because the baby was wearing dark blue. And why would I name him Jacob? Go ahead, Charming.
This is really random, not unrelated, but I hear when you say Yaqub, I also hear Ya and Cub, like a baby lion or a baby tiger. So I don't know, just saying, like, definitely can hear that.
Oh,
see if I can find it. Maybe I can find it. Let's see. Oh, okay. So Jacob meaning an origin from the Hebrew. I can't pronounce it. Jacob can mean to follow behind. And I was following behind him. He had me like, come here, let me show you something. Come here, let me show you something. But it can also mean to supplant, overreach, or come to the Hebrew word for heal. It can also mean may God protect. All are based on the biblical story of Jacob. Well, Most
It's a deep
interesting.
dream.
Yes,
Hmm.
both were. Malika's as well. Look at you, Punky.
Yeah, deep dreams.
Is that Sage? Spirit.
This is Spirit. Although I feel like when we talk about children, I feel like I got to talk about pets too. I feel like I might be being too harsh to Sage. Chaz, don't grin your lip up so hard.
Your
Okay.
fur babies.
I know. I need to be a little bit more patient with Sage. Yeah, but no, this is Spirit.
I always connect with the animals that's always the ones that don't have no sense.
I'm gonna give some love to him.
Look
Can
at-
I show y'all a really cool trick? Sage, hide. 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 No, it's not kissing time. Hide.
They never do
Are you really gonna
what they're supposed to do when they're supposed to. Uh-huh.
Wait, no. Hide. Is it the light? Hide. Go. There you go. Hide. Shh. Okay.
So when you say hide, he goes and hides under your arm.
He sure does. Yeah, and he'll stay right there. He'll stay
Well,
right
you
there under
know,
it.
the camera's on. Of course, they're not gonna do it when they're supposed to.
They never do. He did it for a little bit at the end, so it's okay. It's
That's
okay.
funny.
Okay.
That's too funny.
Well, I know there was something else. I thought that Jose had a story that we were supposed to get to.
Ooh, I do have a story real quick. Okay,
And
it's
the
about the
wanted
Governor
poster.
Gordon. He has a draconian anti-trans sports bill that just passed. And these are his words verbatim. While I support and agree with the overall goal of fairness and competitive female sports, I am concerned that the ban included this legislation overly draconian. It is discriminatory without attention to individual circumstances or migrating factors, and it pays little attention to fundamental principles of equality, Gordon wrote in his letters to Gray. Now, when you look up the draconian law in the government, because now they have draconian government laws, it means they are extremely severe and go farther than what is right or necessary, and the methods are draconian. These are measures taken by the police in controlling demonstrators. That is now what these laws mean. They are draconian, and that is what draconian basically means now. It is nothing that is humane. It is something severe. It's something that you will never be able to put your mind to. We used to have humane laws to where don't do this, don't do that. Now they're getting to a point where they're becoming so severe and so crucial that it's putting people at risk and at stake for getting hurt, and they know what they're doing because their agendas.
Yes. So just like Miss Yvonne said, and I said it in the meeting when we had it, draconian is the form of reptilian that the government officials allegedly are. And so for them to even use that blows my mind, because the draconians are supposedly very hateful and evil in their actions and the way that they do things. So that speaks volumes. Now I saw that somebody Kella had put and said Queen Jackson Smith. That's one of the ladies I had just made a little video about. She's the lady who unalived her great nephew at her brother's funeral. The family got into it. They went outside. She pulled the weapon and she claims that it went off and it pierced him here and unalived him at his grandfather's service. So they did arrest her, but I feel like it's more to it than what's being said. She said that it's an accident. I don't believe that it is. I believe something was said or something. So
Yeah, that's insane. You just accidentally unaliving people at funerals, huh? Accidentally. Okay. Gotcha.
yeah, her brother, but his grandfather.
Shouldn't they be mourning?
I can't remember. Please don't quote me on this because this was one of the many true crime videos I watched over this weekend and saved to my One Band, One Sound true crime playlist. But I think they said something along the lines of before he was shot, he was telling individuals that they were fake. because they didn't show up in his life like this type of energy. And then that's when the accidental unaliving happened.
But why get mad at the truth? Because that is one thing that some Melanites do that are still under the programming of the other man with the beard. They don't show up, correctly in these individuals' lives, and which it really is a full circle. Because it makes me feel like this is why people don't know the elements of true love when it comes to those hugs, when it comes to those, are you simply okay? Telling your daughters, telling your sons, you look handsome. Letting them build that self-confidence of how they look while they're being told that they're ugly all the time at school or being bullied and you have no clue. But these particular situations, you feel like it was great for you to go and grab your weapon and unalive somebody because they told you that you showed up to this person in a fucked up way, and now you're at their services where they're no longer here to defend themselves, and now you're woeing is me and all over the casket. Girl, sit down, have several seats, and take that ass whooping of verbal correction, ma'am, sir, or whoever. Take that accountability and understand that you had the time when that person was alive and their clock was ticking and they're no longer here. So obviously you need to do some soul searching and figure out how you can be able to talk to them on the other side. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. For you to react like that, obviously they was hitting the nail on the damn head for you to pew pew 'em. I'm just saying.
Caesar.
Listen, no, Cesare. That is Cesare. That's
Cesare, girl.
You
Why did I say Caesar? I can't read.
The same way I seen when the girl said they selling lion chops. I was like, they selling lion chops, and the shit said loin. I never looked at the word. I'm like, they is selling lion chops.
So wait, when you posted it, friend, you thought that it said lion too?
I did. That's why I said I didn't even see what it said. I was just appalled, like they killing lions. Did y'all know this? That's why I posted it. Like, who else knew this?
Like, no. Okay.
I was like, oh, so this has to be true.
It said loin chops. Man, listen, Madam Nee took me out. She said, who done taught these hoes how to read?
And Instagram had shut down her comment and put it in like the disrespectful area. And I was like, this is the necessary disrespectful. Listen, but it was the cousins who were saying like, this comment applies to me because I definitely read lion at first. All those cousins said that.
I didn't even read it. I looked and I was like, oh my God, lion chops. She's right. Did anybody else know they were killing lions? I'm like, people are not going to believe this. They're going to say this isn't true. It wasn't.
This is how we know. Let me tell you what though, because I feel like I'm greedy, and that's why I knew, girl, that's loin chops. You are a healthy eater. So of course it will come as a shock because I know that package. And I picked up that package in my past recent.
I kept looking at the meat like, what part of the lion is it?
Malik.
I was so devastated. Listen, the girl on Instagram said, when you so deep, you misreading shit. I'm like, what? So I look at it again like, bitch, that said loin. Wait a minute. Then I seen Madam Meek's comment. I said, oh shit, I didn't even read it. I was just so appalled. They was killing lions. I didn't know what to do.
When I originally saw it, Quatita with Ro, I said, this got to be one of the cousins. They ready to fight for your hooter. They saw lion and they was ready to tear everybody up in the grocery store. Like,
I mean,
not the cuckoo.
I mean,
girl, that's why I'm laughing so hard because all I can think about is her saying, girl, they didn't try to kill you, Huda, in the store. Selling them.
They didn't try to kill you, Huda. They eating lions.
Oh,
they can have all of the lambs they want, but bitch, the lions, no.
Girl, they didn't take it to a new level. They said, oh, we're not going to do swine. We're going to do the lion now.
Right.
I want y'all to remember that draconian law, though. That's so fucking important. Don't Forget that shit. If you weren't privy to the small world reading that I did the other day, real quick before we get up out of this thing, I want y'all to understand what was said. When you hear about people feeling like they're on fire from the inside, I want you to remember that. Like people are going to, we talked about it a year or two ago or so about the skin peeling, and it's going to be happening. People are already saying that the people have been bleeding from their eyes here recently in the hospitals, and you're not hearing about that. But we did say that was going to happen, and it's starting to happen again more. But I don't know what it is, you guys, but it's something about people feeling like they're very hot or on fire from the inside and their skin begins to peel. Okay. It is something with that. I believe it's going to be the eyes, the nose, like bleeding, like different things. Be very, very careful about what you're seeing. And to the bitch who works at YouTube that didn't block both of my pages, I just want to say sincerely, never mind who you thought I was, Uncle Tita Ding, bitch. Fuck you. Just want to say that.
And with that said, we've had a great show. I hope everyone's enjoyed themselves. We've enjoyed ourselves. And like always, don't trust no genome, don't trust no G night, and solitude de wa, y'all.
Solitude de wa.
Solitude de wa.